Alright. Hi. I know that this isn't... Everybody says that. Everybody says, I know this isn't great lighting. Whatever. I'm using a webcam on this tablet. So, I'm making this video because for the last 15 or 20 minutes I've been watching some of Jen Friedman's videos. And Jen, I love your videos. I really appreciate them. Pretty much all of the videos on the We Are Freedom Fighters channel, I haven't watched them all, but I've benefited from some of them, and I appreciate it. I guess I feel a little silly because I haven't made a video in a while, and I feel so awkward in my skin lately. It's not even funny. I mentioned in my last video that I am in a treatment center, and I do have a lot of help available there. And I am trying to internalize more of what they're saying and do it, and accept personal responsibility for my life and for my recovery and for finding or creating meaning in my life, but I just feel so lost. I don't know what I'm doing at all. And a lot of the time I feel really lonely. I do have some friends. The majority of them are across the country, and then I have a couple in the area I mentioned, but I don't get to see them too often because they're busy and they're both working, and they work at a crazy busy place where I used to work. So, I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess, what I'm struggling with, but what I'm really working on overcoming, because I don't want to just make videos about the bad things, because I really have made a lot of progress. It's just that there are certain sort of sticking points, and I'm sure that people who are farther along in recovery can relate to that in their own experience. So one of the things is that, I've done this refeeding, gaining weight thing a zillion times, and it always comes to the same point for me, where I shoot way beyond my set point. I'm finally looking at the overeating by itself as a problem. I've never really made it past the point where purging becomes so infrequent that I've noticed that that's an issue by itself, or maybe I have and just haven't been willing to let go enough of the purging in order to work on that. I'm also recognizing that recovery is a process, as everybody says, and I've always hated that, but I'm starting to really understand, and it's something maybe I didn't want to accept before, but I'm understanding that it's like, or at least for me, and it's not very appealing because it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 1 step back, 1 forward, 1 back, 1 forward, 1 back, 1 forward, 1 back, 2 steps forward. So it's just this agonizing kind of process where I keep trying to come back to the things that I've been trying to tell myself and that I feel apply to me. And I really do. Jen, in one of your videos, you were talking about the longer that you're in the eating disorder, the more it sort of takes over everything, and I really do feel at a big loss as far as the things that I care about, if I care about anything, my identity, all of that. So I don't really know what I'm doing. I find that in the moments that I want to overeat or eat something that's not on my meal plan or whatever, and I do it, I often have in my head, you could tell an RPA. Like, an RPA is one of the resident patient assistants at the facility. When I'm out of the facility, it's different. But when I'm there, it's like, they're right there. So I could say something, but there's something about, like, the kitchen being all busy and all of these girls there. And it's just, I've done it a couple times where I've, like, gotten over the hump and I've, like, gone over and been like, Diane or whoever the RPA is, I want to do this, but I'm not going to. I need that accountability. I wanted to just tell you, and then I'll be able to do the right thing a lot of the time. I do feel like I could benefit from just being in regular contact with people. I had a good phone conversation with somebody from an internet forum that I've known for a while who is recovered a week or so ago, and, but just, I think in some ways my expectations for life are too high. I know that might not sound too linked, but like I'm thinking about this morning, my mom and I went to the SPCA nearby, or a shelter, and we adopted a cat, and we named him Oliver, and he's very cute. I mean, he's very sweet. I'm not too attached to him yet. Our other cat just died, and I was very close to her, so I'm not skipping for it, but for instance, when I was younger, I would be with the cat right now, not in my room, and I spent some time with him because I just wanted to be welcoming or whatever, but I'm not as excited as I would have been in the past. I've noticed interactions with my family that my mother doesn't seem to have a very optimistic perspective, and somehow her perspective is working for her in some way that, or at least she's not concerned with it, but I am concerned with my negative view of the world and life, and not only do I think it makes it a lot more difficult for me to go do the things that I need to do and function properly, but I think that it also makes it feel not satisfying or enjoyable. And I would like to enjoy life at least a little bit. So I'm trying to, figure that out. If anybody has any suggestions. I know it's not, I've been trying to think, like, it's not about getting stuff and getting new things into my life, but more about appreciating what I do have and tailoring my perspective and constant, like, cognitive restructuring, and I am trying to do that, and I'm trying to stick with that, and that's part of what feels agonizing, as I was saying earlier. It's just like coming back to the same point after you mess up, and I'll make it like a longer period of time without doing any behaviors. I'll go for 3 days or whatever, and even if there's some overeating, I'll try not to be perfect about it, because it's like, this is something I've been dealing with since I was a child. It's no wonder that it's insidious. Another thing, obviously, is body image. It's very difficult. My therapist suggested, because I'm just wearing, like, kind of drab clothing most of the time right now, and the truth is, like, I'm not in a place where I feel like I'm not going to go get jeans and pretty shirts and whatever. I don't feel pretty when I do that, and I don't feel good about myself in general, but I also don't want to be wearing just sweatpants and these huge shirts and sweatshirts that I don't think make me feel much better. I got a haircut recently. I just washed it, so you can't tell, but it looks better than it did, so that was something. And what my therapist suggested was maybe getting some dresses, and I remember Lauren Livejournal, a good friend of mine who's also in recovery for a couple years now, suggesting the same thing, dresses that sort of have like the seam here so that it's more flowy from the waist or the under the breast line area down, so that you feel nice, but you don't feel like there's something emphasizing your shape in areas that are more difficult, possibly. So, but there's something with that too, where wearing any kind of like pretty clothing, including dresses, which I don't wear often anyway, makes me feel just like an ugly girl in a dress. And I know that that's trying to be nicer to myself and realize that it just doesn't matter as much. I'm gonna have to stop this video soon because it's getting kind of long, but those are some of the things that I'm thinking about. And the big thing that I really struggle with is meaning in life and value in life, and sort of making myself the exception to the idea that I could possibly find some or create some in my life. So that's what I just wanted to make a video because I was watching the Jens and found them so very helpful. So thank you, Jen. And Caroline Rothstein as well. I've really enjoyed your videos. So, alright, I wish you guys the best.